Hey, good afternoon, guys. It's Kobe Lawson here again, back at it with another reaction video. I did a previous one, but uh, there was a slight issue, so I had to redo the second half, and now I just have to slap them together and hope all goes well. So today we're going to be reacting to, well, 007 First Light being another one of those, woke titles as always. Um, it's beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. You know, I knew that that game wasn't going to be was not worth the paper it's printed on. I just knew it. I just knew it. I had a feeling, okay? I had a feeling that 007 First Light was not going to be all that. The DEI, then there's DRM at the last second, the last minute, pretty much last second upon release. It was a whole shit show, a whole mess. And the DRM specifically affected PC users because they got something that wasn't content, wasn't fresh new content or a gift at the last second. Nope. They didn't get a present. They got instead a slap to the face. They got a slap in the face at the last minute for a game that's supposed to be that good. It's supposed to be a reinvent of 007, I guess. A modern standards 007. We know how well that usually goes for video games. No, you can't implement quote unquote modern standards into a video game. And I thought that this was like clear, very clear, from the first time a game with modern standards, was goofed up, you know, but unfortunately, we all know that it these people, they don't understand. These people, they're hard-headed. They don't listen. At worst, they just don't care. They think, hey, we're better than you guys, we know how to make good games, only for their games to flop in sales and popularity, and the modern audience to be pissed off because those same games are taken offline, and they blame us as usual because we have actual taste, in media. But, it's crazy, honestly. You know, I played Battlefield Bad Company 2 yesterday on my Series X. Got the physical copy of it. Didn't, I had to redo it all over again because I don't have the digital copy. And even though I pretty much completed the entire campaign back on my Xbox 360, and I think eventually my Xbox One, um, I got rid of the other physical copy I had. I forgot why, but hey. It is what it is. So I got another physical copy, um, and it is awesome. You know, reliving the memories that made me love the heck out of that game. It was just so funny. Just so fun, man. I'm still on the second mission, I think. I barely started. I'm still on the second mission, I think. Heart of Darkness. So yeah, I just wish we could go back to those times where video games were actually great. You know, not a single not a single implementation of DEI whatsoever in them. Just natural diversity. That's it. That's all we need. We don't need all that artificial garbage. But let's begin. Got a video from Quasar77, my boy. The goat, one of the many goats of gaming and all the good stuff. So let's begin.
007 First Light is officially here. No more of that Access YouTuber nonsense. And yes, I'm looking directly at you, Skillup. We can finally see the game for ourselves and judge, is it good or is it bad? And boys, it's exactly as we anticipated. 007 First Light is a complete disaster. And no, I am not being dramatic for the sake of being dramatic this time. It's true. And it's very interesting because the opinions on this game are so incredibly split. So if you instantaneously disagree with me, that's actually kind of fine because you're gonna understand what I mean by this a little bit later in the video when we look at a couple of things, because we have a lot of stuff to look at. We got the Steam charts, which are diabolic, and this one's factual, so there's no real disputing it. We have the gameplay, the graphics, the story, the wokeness, and people are unbelievably split on all of this. So first of all, let's start with the Steam charts. 3K reviews and below 90%, not a hugely below, but 87.8% positive review score, which is very, very strange. But in any case, currently, yesterday's peak was 57.2k players, and today, needless to say, the graph is going up. It is currently, as of making of this video, only 12 p.m. for our American friends, so you don't get confused. And, well, the graph is going to go up, so it is definitely going to get a new high score of players. And one very important thing to notice is the graph's not going up like this, the graph is going up like this. Which means maybe we get 70k players, maybe we get 65k players, maybe we get even 80k players. But you need to also remember that this is currently Wednesday, and it released on Tuesday. There is a reason all the big companies release only on, well, pretty much they try to hit Thursday now, or Wednesday, worst case scenario, because that's how you can guarantee that the SteamDB looks the best for Saturday and Sunday, which should be the big peaks. So we're still expecting this, but currently, this is not good. 57k players is pretty good, and even if it hits 65k players, this is one of the most disastrous things ever, because this is by IO Interactive. And, well, this game costs a lot of money. I'm not sure how much cost this, but there is no fucking world where this thing probably has costed below 300 million to make. So at this point, if it has sold, I don't know, 500 copies with a price range of, I actually don't know the price of this, but whatever, let's assume it's $50. That's not enough money. 500k copies sold for $50 is
Yeah, that's honestly crazy. You know, uh, where I live, it's around like what? I think $72.62. Because I live in Connecticut, so in Manchester, Connecticut specifically. So, yeah, 500,000 copies sold. Yeah, you're not really making that much money back from that. That's a lot less than what you would normally expect a 007 game to make. That's a lot less copies sold, man. That's just how you know this game is really bad. Because if this game was actually any good, you'd see, what, 10 times that amount of copies being sold. You know, you'd see the devs, the company, they would be bathing in money for the rest of their lives, dude. Like this just goes to show you the modern treatment does not work. It doesn't, because you're going against the fans, in favor of people who, one, don't know anything about video games, let alone the quality of video games, and number two, want to force their own ideology into hobbies, into spaces they don't belong, that their ideology does not belong and is certainly not welcome in. You know, it's kind of crazy that these people, these devs and stuff, were actually expecting this game to sell that many copies. I mean, they diversified the game. They implemented that modern audience nonsense into it, and it's not even making that much money. And again, that's because there's not really much of a modern audience. We're talking about a minority of people, that are outclassed by the majority. There's just no way, man.
Not even a dent in the budget, and this thing is super expensive. Every single person in this game is some kind of TV star, Hollywood star, and it has a shit ton of YouTubers, which we're gonna see later on. Yes, they literally put everyone and your grandmother in this thing. And that costs a lot of money. They're all facially animated, which means they have the expensive motion capture stuff and all of this. Okay? It is not looking good. Financially, First Light is looking real bad. Really bad. Again, best case scenario, this thing is only like 250 million budget wise. Flat out, there's no world where it's less. And with 50k concurrent players, it's not the biggest disaster in the world, but my god, is it not a win? Well, it is a disaster, you get the point. In any case, currently First Light is getting absolutely glowing, stunning, and brave reviews from pretty much almost everyone. I told you that this is gonna be, yesterday, I told you that this is gonna be your next 10 out of 10 IGN, even though IGN's not on the list. And it's very interesting because there are people who are going against the grain in the funniest way. This is by PC Gamer, by the way, and this is the most hilarious article. I'm not gonna read it, but I'm gonna summarize it for you, okay? I wanted to play a Hitman game. I bought the 007 First Light game, and I'm now disappointed because it wasn't a Hitman game. We do not hate some people nearly as much as we should, and gaming journalists are the first in line, boys.
Yeah, I mean, did you really expect a 007 game to be anywhere near Hitman? Those are two different franchises, dude. 007 is a secret agent. You know, he's not a contract killer. He's not a murder for hire. You know, I thought that was clear. That's like expecting Batman to be that's like expecting Batman Arkham Knight to be the Punisher. Dude, two different franchises, two different games. They're not the same. I mean, they're two different heroes. One is two different vigilantes, mind you. I mean, they're both vigilantes, but one usually argues against killing, you know, criminals, even though we know god darn well he does. I mean, come on. You guys are not going to tell me that those punches, kicks, and everything else that he delivers in the Arkham series are non-fatal. This dude be killing criminals in the Arkham series. He doesn't beat them up, he kills them. I mean, what do you think's going to happen when you take someone and you shove them headfirst into a concrete barrier or something? They're going to die. Or at the very least, they're going to be paralyzed permanently. Maybe not permanently, maybe temporarily, but I would imagine permanently at the least and dead at the worst, which is probably the more likely outcome. You know, you can't expect one game to be you can't expect a game from one franchise to be a game from a completely different franchise. It makes no sense. Bond is not a contract killer. He's a secret agent, a special agent. You know, Agent 47 is a contract killer. Those are two different people. Sure, they both require or prefer stealth, so they don't have to, so they don't make a mess of things, but one actually goes out of his own way to, at least try to not kill people, while the other really doesn't care if he does or doesn't. Maybe Agent 47 kind of at least has a little bit of a heart, but still, dude. Considering you can kill just about anyone in Hitman, I think, we know the exact difference between the two franchises. Like, come on, man. I played 007 Nightfire, dude. You're not gonna tell me that a modern 007 game is supposed to be the same thing as a Hitman game. Two different franchises, two different games, two different protagonists. I mean, Agent 47 is more like a villain protagonist, but you get the point. The point is, we're talking two different franchises here with two different characters that are completely unrelated to each other. The only thing they have in common is utilizing stealth and different gadgets and stuff.
Yes, this is literally, I wanted a Hitman game. I proceeded to not buy a Hitman game.
If you wanted a Hitman game so badly, why don't you just go buy a Hitman game? You know, and pretend that you're 007, disguising and pretend that you're 007 killing a bunch of people, NPCs. I mean, you could do that, sure. Agent 47 looks nothing like 007, but you can always let your imagination run wild. Imagination. You could always let it run wild.
I'm disappointed some magically how the fucking article.
Yeah, what an article. I'm not exactly surprised. Every time a game, you know, these these roaches always have a habit, always want to complain about how a game is not what they expected it to be, and their expectations is for the game to be something that it's not supposed to be. Completely the complete opposite of what it's supposed to be. You know, and they didn't even do a one in they didn't even do too much of an interesting job with 007 First Light. They completely just butchered the game. They add all this modern audience garbage, the diversity, the DEI, all that stuff that shouldn't be in video games or any media in the first place. Um, and you know, now we have this terrible 007 game as a result, and the majority of gamers are not pleased. They're not, at all amused, and especially this is going to definitely piss off the 007 fans, such as myself, because this is not what 007 is supposed to be. I mean, like, really? Trying to change 007's character in favor of a modern audience? That's not 007. Sure, 007 is flirtatious and stuff. Okay, and that's not at all problematic. Of course he's flirtatious. He's a guy. I mean, he doesn't cross the line. He never has, mind you, in any installment. He's supposed to be a special agent, hunting down bad guys. That's it. It's really not that difficult. And see, it makes me wish we had remasters of games like 007 Nightfire, because that was one of my favorite 007 games. I mean, I think that was the only one I actually played, because I remember having it on the PlayStation 2 and I absolutely loved it. The Desert Eagle, that Slugfire Glock, what else was it? Them sniper rifles. The futuristic weapons they also had in the game. I love that stuff. The gameplay was also really good. I struggled though. I don't think I've ever I think I completed the game at least once. You know, Still though, that was a great game. You don't really get stuff like that anymore. Cuz now we get this garbage and it's not even worth it. I was on a Reddit thread. I think, well, I forgot what thread it was, or not a thread, but I was on a subreddit and in a Reddit thread. Obviously, I forgot which two it was, and I was trying to tell a redditor, obviously one of those redditors, that hey, don't pre-order this game. Don't pre-order. All I said was looks can be deceiving. And the redditor just brought up a bunch, just ended up started up strawman, bringing up Batman Arkham City or whatever that game was. I forgot what it was called. That new Lego Batman game, and I was like, "What? That's a Lego game." do you really have high expectations for a Lego game? It's a Lego game. Look, there are plenty of good Lego games, but do you really have high expectations for a friggin' Lego game? I mean, really? It's a Lego game. It's not like Brick Rigs or Brick Mania, where you're actually doing some interesting things, I'm not saying Lego games are bad. It's just like people act like that Redditor acted like that Lego Batman game was Brickcadia, was like Brickadia or whatever it was called, or Brick Rigs. Like, you know, it's just a Lego game. It's not like Brick Rigs or Brickadia. Brick. What was that? What was that Lego game called? Hold on a second. God darn, Steam Store always fucking lagging. Um, yeah, it's not like Brickadia where, it's not like Brickadia or Brick Rigs where you can actually build stuff of your own volition, whatever you want and stuff. It's literally just a linear Lego Batman game. Maybe, pretty much, obviously, maybe some open world elements, maybe not, I don't know. But, it's literally just a Lego Batman game. You know, seriously, it's nothing special, you know. And look, I love Lego games, okay? I love Lego games since I was a kid. I love Lego since I was a kid, you know? But still, it's just a Lego game, dude. That's, it's not like you don't have high expectations for a Lego game. You know, I would have higher expectations for a 007 game than a Lego game. Seriously. Do I even need to say more? Because I feel like people just think that we're not supposed to have high expectations for a game that's supposed to be in a franchise that we are fans of. You know, seriously, I I don't know what to say. I really don't know what else to say to this other than really, you know, you know, I forgot what my reply was to the user's reply, but I don't know what it was. I forgot what it was really. Um, but I think it was along the line. I think I was still like I was basically doubling down. That's all I really know. Because like looks can literally be deceiving. I mean, we've seen that already many times. 007 is a definite example of that. Seriously, this just maybe the graphics are good, but Bond does just he does not look like Bond. That does not the Bond I grew up with. And look, I may not have watched that many 007 films, but I did play 007 Nightfire, and I love that game. And I've also watched some gameplays and stuff, and clips of a bunch of movies where Bond was in. And there was also I played what was it, GoldenEye, where you could dual wield shotguns and stuff. Love that game. Wish it was ported to the modern version because that game was awesome. I never got to finish that game though. I think that was the game where Bond actually died or something. I forgot. You know, however, with that being said, you know, I don't understand why it's so difficult for us to just have a good goddamn game. You know, this game could have had so much potential, but they had to throw in diversity for the sake of it. They had to throw in all this modernization. It's stupid. Like, why would you add and change things that don't need to be added and changed? Like, they ruined 007, especially the character himself. They just ruined him flat out. And the fact that the media think that this is okay is ridiculous. It's disgusting. You don't sit there and you don't sit there and friggin' encourage and condone spiteful you know spiteful ruination of classic and well loved, well known, beloved video game beloved franchises, especially characters, for the sake of leftist ideology. Like, you don't condone that stuff. Because what you're doing is you're basically saying that the fans don't matter. We want to just destroy the things you love. Like, for what though? For what? That's what I don't understand. Like, why would you want to destroy the things we love just to try and get something on us? Why would you do that when you know it's not working? It's just pissing us off. And when we start winning, y'all just get even more agitated. I don't get it. I don't think I ever will. I know that there are some people who like to be attention seekers, but this is just like beyond that. It's like these people purposefully destroy the things that we love for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't think I'll ever know why, and I'm not even sure if I want to know why. Like, what is going on here, folks?
Unbelievable. And let's talk about the gameplay. A lot of people are talking about the gameplay. I talked about it yesterday.
Bro, the environment reacts to everything I do in this fight. 007 First Light has some Rockstar level immersive action at times. I doubt it.
Also, it is Batman Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum, or whatever the Batman games are type of combat. I mean, just look at this, by the way.
I mean, it looks okay from what I'm looking at, but, well, so you have License to Kill right there, but, well, where's Bond's famous handgun?
Some of the environment destruction effects are pretty neat, by the way.
I mean, yeah, and I do agree. I just think there's some room for improvement. That thing should have broken, just saying. Oh yeah, that's
There's
brutal.
some reflection on there. Pretty nice. I mean, the combat, I don't personally like that.
Yeah, I don't either. I feel like this is out of place for a 007 game anyway, because, 007 is known for using his Walther PPK. Usually when he has to, I guess. I mean, this is something you'd see in a John Wick movie. This belongs more like a John Wick movie or something, where you just see the characters just fighting each other to the death with their bare hands because they run out of ammo so quickly.
Style of melee combat, but I understand that some people do. And
I do. I understand that some people prefer melee combat over just like shooting someone because, I mean, I guess reasons. I'm not exactly sure, but I usually just prefer to just point, aim, and just fire. It's easier and it just moves the story forward, and it just saves time.
this is personal preference, I would like to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, you get it. And the funniest thing is, this is a 3.6 million view tweet, and bro, the environment reacts to everything I do in this fight. First Light has more Rockstar level immersion action attack. Bro, oh, the environment barely, by the way, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't really react all that. It doesn't really react all that often. Like,
Actually, the only part where the environment does react to what's happening is this, when the guy gets slammed into this into the window.
I mean, yeah, like, can you put him through a door or something? I mean, if you can put him through the wall or the door, maybe maybe we're getting somewhere, but we'll get somewhere. But like, I don't think that's much of the environment to be reacted to. That I'm thinking, when I think of environment reacting, I'm thinking of this and putting someone through a door, through a window, through the wall, through and just destroying the environment while fighting to the death. you know and some more interactability with the environment, not just beating someone and just slamming their face into a glass window or whatever it is and just being done with that. I was thinking some more stuff. I mean, I don't think this is just a definite reaction to the environment. It's more like just the bare minimum to make you think, oh, I can do this. This is cool. I've never seen this before. I'm pretty sure plenty of video games had something like this. I mean, I don't think 007 is the first game to have. I don't think this is the first game to have, have the character, the character's actions, or the player's actions, you know, uh, the environment responds to the player's actions.
But even
I mean, just as an example, just for an example, like in Far Cry 2 and Far Cry 3, you could literally cause I mean, specifically Far Cry 2, you could cause an entire brush fire or a monstrous fire since the location of the game takes place in Africa. And if you know a thing or two about Africa, the foliage and stuff with how dry it is, it's basically California on several levels. So you can start a monstrous fire that may end up being never ending or just be pure nightmare fuel. So yeah, personally, and there's Far Cry 3 where you can do something similar, but the fire is not as it's still an issue, as in not a bad issue, but like it's still impactful. Like if you're doing some and you're, in foliage that can be burned, yeah. So in Far Cry 4, I think it's almost the same. I think it's pretty much the same thing. Far Cry 5 though is where, they kind of, you know, Far Cry 5 fire is not really an issue because it doesn't spread far like it used to in the previous games. So, you know, it's when I think of like the environment reacting to what the player's doing, I kind of think of that. You know, I can think of a lot of games, but this one is just it's only like one thing you can do. And it makes you wonder how many times can you do this throughout the game? You know, uh it just doesn't look like dynamic like it just doesn't look like it just doesn't sound as good as it's being presented.
then, it's only a crack. It doesn't break, and the
Yeah.
handle gets knocked. The environment very visibly does not react to everything you do. We see
Yeah.
that perfectly here, for example. Look. Oh, that was a little bit too late. Watch. Now, the environment does... You can literally see a bug. The environment does not respond to anything you do. Here also, by the way, I'm not going to show it. I already failed at that. But here, nothing reacts to anything. And this is a 3.6 million post about how everything reacts to everything you do. Like, get out. Just get out. What is this? You just lie and post something that direct...
Media literacy is an important thing. Like the lack of media literacy nowadays is just diabolical, man. People believe anything, they see on social media.
disproves your point. It's a miracle. This is the driving.
The lack of detail in 007's First Light is embarrassingly bad. It's 2026 and we still have statue NPCs that don't react to anything. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like one thing that's a lot of games do that tick me off, especially modern ones. Not like older ones, but like more modern ones. Recent releases and stuff like that. Um, they'll have like the NPCs like stand there like doing basically nothing, not reacting to whatever you do, and I hate it. It's like, bro, you mean to tell me that these NPCs do not care what I'm doing? Like you know, I would give it a pass if it was like New York or California, because of course you wouldn't expect anybody to be reacting too tough. People are so used to stuff like crazy stuff happening in those two states that anything they see just usually doesn't bother them too tough unless they happen to be the target or they happen to be in the path. But like in general, just know, like, this dude almost got ran over, and you mean to tell me he's still standing there like nothing happened? Yeah, no, dude, I would be booking it. I would be absolutely booking it.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh!
The driving in
Oh, you can't even run him over either? Oh, wow.
this game has been pretty much just added because I don't know, James Bond drives fancy cars, and that's kind of it. Right now, though, all I can do is review the 007 first
British
slide.
imperialism, excuse me, devote his life to armed struggle among third world liberation movements, but I liked it. What? What does this have to do with British imperialism? James Bond is a frigging agent. How is that British imperialism? Sure, there's black ops. Just about every country's military does black ops operations. I'm pretty sure. A lot of them we don't know about. Or just getting their, just having the gloves come off. Barely legal. But like British imperialism, this dude is an agent. Are you kidding me? He's a secret agent. At what point was British imperialism within any of his bones, dude? I can't understand why these people have to lie like this and make it out as if, you know, good video game and movie characters were problematic because they were good characters or they were likable characters or doing things that you would probably expect a person to do. Well, maybe that's a stretch, but you get what I'm saying. There's no need for these kinds of accusations and all this slander and whatnot. This is ridiculous. The long legacy of British imperialism. Now, play 007 Nightfire and tell me if you see any such thing. And I don't even think about saying yes you do, because if you even think about saying anything like that, you're lying. You are a liar. Like, this is ridiculous. Only an extreme only a delusional leftist would say something like this. British imperialism? What? Bond is a secret agent. What is so imperialistic about that? What is so British imperialism about that? He's a secret friggin' agent. Like, someone please make that make sense. Like, are you kidding me? So undercover FBI agents are American tyrants? I mean, generally the FBI and the ATF are tyrannical, but it's just, it's just, I'm trying to make a point here. Like, how are you going to sit here and claim that a British agent, a secret agent, is is like I guess participating or part of British imperialism? None of that existed in 007. None of that did. In fact, most of the time, pretty much 100% of the time, in any 007 media, Bond was literally taking down tyrants, especially criminals. What's going on here, folks? Where are these lies coming from? Like, they really just pull these lies out of where the sun don't shine, don't they? Cause like, I don't understand how you could sit here and just lie like that, knowing God darn well it's not true. And the
That
virtue signaling.
exists in my
That's
head.
pretty much it here.
By the way, these are the paid media that are giving this game reviews.
Yep.
And this is one of the better reviews, okay? I thought it was a bold move.
It may be one of the better ones, but it's still pretty goddamn stupid. Like, it's still full of ignorance. The British imperialism nonsense, what is that? What the heck is that? There's no such thing, man.
To have James Bond announce the long legacy of British imperialism and devote his life to armed struggle amongst third world liberation movements, but I liked it. Maybe that goes differently if you failed the QTE to read the collective works of blah blah blah. This person reviewed the game and literally made their own fucking headcanon for
Exactly, dude. Like, no, you can't do that. I'm sorry. Headcanon does not overwrite actual canon. That's not how things work. It's like those trans weirdos who were trying to claim that a character, I guess a guy or whatever, or in an anime was in an anime show or something like that is like trans or something. And it's like no, that's not how that works. And they're still doubling down like yes, he is trans or the character is trans. No, the character's not. No, you don't get to make up your own canon, even if it's headcanon. Like, headcanon is headcanon for a reason. You keep that in your head. That's not actually true just because it's headcanon. No. Canon is canon. Headcanon is not canon. You don't get to create or make canon. You don't get to make up the canon just because you don't like how an author has something. The way an author does things.
it. You cannot make this level of insanity up.
No, you can't.
And the amount of and by the way, the gameplay, the shooting wise, I thought personally that shooting is going to be the best part because the stealth is just god awful.
I'm not exactly surprised. You would think that they would at least get the stealth right, but of course not.
Complaining that you can literally suplex someone right next to someone else and they are gonna be just completely oblivious.
Oh boy.
The NPCs, when it comes to stealth takedowns or stealth in general, are just awful. Awful. They're brain dead. There is no question about this, okay? It is a long shot somehow from, what Hitman even did previously, even though it's the same studio. We have like a billion cameos from famous YouTubers, TikTokers, and whatever. Look at this.
Oh my lord. What? I mean, it is kind of funny, but like, why? Just friggin' why, dude? Why?
There are so
What is this, Call of Duty?
many of these. There are so many of these. By the way, I thought the shooting was going to be the best part, but people are even complaining about that. I don't know how much I agree with this. Because the shooting honestly, it looks like Payday, so I don't think that's bad. But there are some people who are even complaining about the shooting. I personally don't feel it, but whatever. There are so many cameos. Look at this. This is they
That better
fucking
not
put
be
in
who I think it
Shroud.
is.
They
Who?
put in Shroud.
Let's see it. That was the first time I saw that.
Shroud?
Yeah. They put in a ton of these people
Oh,
in. It is
that's
insane.
Shroud.
They did the motion capture and then they put in a bunch of famous people as a poor man's attempt at marketing. This is probably, by the way, because these idiots think that this patch was successful because of the things. No, this patch was successful because people saw the gooning possibilities and then it blew up. No, seriously, by the way, that is this patch. It completely failed when it first released. And then the romance options started trending on Twitter and it became a massive success. All the literal tens of millions combined subscribers of these people who voiced and acted for this patch, they all failed. And only the literal gooning appeal saved this patch. And this is why this is why I think that
This patch was one of the things I was about
these
to get. I was planning on getting because I did hear that I from what I've heard it is actually good, but I did not know why that's why it was so popular. I did not know that's what saved it. Dang. Wow. Oh my lord. I mean, I can't talk since I do have a few adult games in my Steam library. Not that I even really touch them. I haven't touched them in what, a year or so, I think. Mostly because I just prefer Train Sim Classic and stuff. Not really interested in those. I don't really play that stuff like that. You know, I don't. You know, especially since I'm trying to get I'm saving up to get a new laptop so I could just play games like Outbreak and what was that other one I had? And get Farming Simulator 25 so I can have a plethora of mods on it because my current laptop just cannot play Farming Simulator 22 without lagging. And I know Farming Simulator 25 is going to tear it a new one. And Outbreak, yeah, I'm not touching that game until I get a new laptop because that one, with the amount of detail and stuff with the tornadoes and things, yeah, that's gonna have to wait. I have it. I'm not touching it. I'm not playing the game until I get a new laptop. You know, and Train Sim Classic also. That's another reason why I need a new laptop as well as Train Sim 22, so I don't have to worry about lag. When I play those games. They don't lag too much, but like Trains 22, if I'm on a highly detailed route, oh yeah, it's going to lag. It's going to lag.
Cameos from all these massive people because they think this is gonna work, even though it's obviously not gonna work. This is from Fandom Pulse. Video games expect video game
Video game expert, huh? Oh, really?
expert and developer your torch blah blah blah.
Oh yeah. Okay. You cool then? All right. Video game expert, your Torch Games. Okay, then he cool.
He calls
Woke trash. Yeah, pretty much because it's true. And elaborates on his points. 007 First Light's James Bond is being bossed around by a woman. I've watched the first 13 minutes of gameplay. Bond, how can I help without knowing what's going on? Yeah, I mean, really, woman overcomes by doing exactly what I tell you. This is a disaster. What? It, by doing exactly what I tell you. This is a disaster. What? What? Yeah, nope, absolutely not. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. See, there's a good thing I didn't get that game. I knew I wouldn't have liked it. No, dude. Really? Bond is his own man. If he wants someone to tell him what to do, he'll tell himself what to do. Or he'll tell himself what to do. Like, has nothing to do with the woman. It's literally the fact that he's being bossed around. You know, seriously? They don't take anything seriously, do they? Like, really? That's some bad comedy. And trust me, this is not the only thing. This is not the only thing. I know for a fact this is not the only woke element within it. There's definitely more. You know, I don't even think I need to explain it. I really don't think I need to. This is absolutely atrocious. Why? Just friggin' why, dude?
something out. And effectively, I don't agree with this because you previously had a woman,
I mean, yeah, honestly, I mean, I don't agree, but I can see where the developer is coming from. I can see where they're coming from, but I don't honestly think I agree. I mean, I did say, if Bond wants to be bossed around, he'll tell himself what to do. Or needs someone to tell him what to do, he'll tell himself what to do. But, you know, I don't agree either. I think there's like a little bit more stuff that makes this game woke trash than that. I think that's just like kind of cherry picking maybe, but hey, I mean it is what it is, I
the
guess.
original, what's her name? I forgot. I'm not that huge of a Bond guy, but he has always been bossed around by a woman.
I mean,
The
yeah,
real issue
and that is true. I think it's the context that matters.
now it's
It's really why it's happening. it's not the fact that he's being bossed around by a woman, because being bossed around by a man being bossed around by a woman isn't exactly woke by itself. It's really it's really the fact that this is a modern audience friendly game. That's why it would be woke, because of this garbage. That's why. You know, you know, because the woman's probably not doing it, the developers are not having it done, to actually add to the story or make a funny moment. No. The developers are doing it to woke to fill this game with woke garbage for brownie points.
Intentional that
Yeah,
it's
it's really intentional,
a
yeah.
woman and bossing you around. And by the way, an
Yeah,
absolute
it's the intention that matters. They're intentionally doing this just, for in the name of feminism. You know, I like feminism better when it was about, women, being treated equally. Though they could have just asked. But then again, I wasn't born in that time period, so I don't know what was cracking. So, hey, I mean, we went from that shit went from that to this. Yeah, I don't think this is feminism. This is just straight up stupidity. This is really just pushing politics into someone's. This is really just like skull freaking player politics into players. No. I hear enough about this shit every day. I see enough of this shit almost every day. You know, I mean, seriously, I don't want to hear or see no more of this shit, okay? I don't feel like having my whole life revolve around this shit. I didn't ask for this. When the fuck did I ask for this shit to be skull fricked into my brain? I don't remember asking for it, so I would like it to go away, or at least stay far away from me. If I want DEI or if I want woke shit, I'll ask for it, okay? I didn't ask for it, so I don't want it. Therefore, this should not be anywhere near me. Not even in video games. This is like being harassed by someone you're not supposed to be around. Or this is like, I don't know, it's just, this is ridiculous. This is outrageous. They don't ruin James Bond. And for what? For representation? Diversity? Really? Who are they supposed to be representing exactly? I mean, yeah, and this is the anti-male agenda as always. Shame men for being men and promote women for being women, I guess. This is flat out ridiculous. I just I don't understand why it's so hard to just have a DEI free game. You know, really? If we want good games, we basically have to just go back to the DEI free games, like the older ones, like as far as Xbox One, Xbox 360, and Xbox and the original Xbox. You know, because at this point, it's like I don't think too many modern games are going to be that good. I really don't. You know, we already see the results. We're seeing it right now. We've seen it before way too many times, and this is and people wonder why Gamergate exists. This is exactly why. This has to be why it existed, because I don't appreciate this shit. I certainly don't. I don't care about this. What am I supposed to be interested about this for? Oh, hey, here's some colored woman in a video game that's bossing around James Bond, a white man. Congratulations. You want a medal? What do you want? An award or something? For quote unquote representation? What do you want? Like, what are you supposed to be gaining out of this? Folks act like every single person on the planet is ignoring quote unquote minorities. The same ones who would have no problem making violent threats against innocent folks that don't have the same ideology they do. Yeah, and the same ones that also condone the murder of Charlie Kirk over his takes on things. Jeez. You know, I think we all know the government had a major part in that. You know, we all know they did. They're never going to admit it because if they did, they know how much of an uproar there would be. But you know, we know they know we know we know what y'all was up to. Just know that we know that you know.
Absolute. Well, this is not, by the way, the one that actually bosses you around. That one's Indian, okay? All the meaningful roles in life.
That one's Indian. Shoot, it was kind of hard to tell with the friggin' eyebrows. Is that one trans or something, or is she just straight up old?
India. Keep that in mind. But this
Now she puts the turtleneck in turtleneck. She puts the neck in turtleneck, I'll tell you
is
that
just
one.
like I don't know. But she also bosses you around.
Oh, of course
In
she
the
does.
original Bond, yeah, they were women, but they were.
I mean, hold on though. Is she letting Bond crack though? I mean, how is she gonna boss Bond around and ain't letting him crack? I don't get it. I don't get it. My thing is, if you gonna be a woman, you gonna boss me around, and I'm a secret agent. You should be letting me crack with consent, of course. With consent, you know, with consent, with your consent. Like, let's get a dinner or something. Let me crack at least once, and then you can boss me around as many times as you like. Within reason, of course. Let's not get devious, alright? You animals.
Reasonable. They actually seemed like people. In this game, it's just a bunch of caricatures. And now this is where the discussion about wokeness in the first light is like the big issue. This is actually the biggest issue because we need to gatekeep this shit.
We really do. We need to start gatekeeping harder because this is getting absurd. You know, it's not the fact that there's an Indian woman in the game. I don't care about that, okay? You know, it's the fact that this was done intentionally just to spite gamers who object to wokeism being forced into spaces they should not be. You know, parents already have to deal with with their children in schools, man. Like we don't need this either. I mean, this just been happening way before that, but you know, seriously, man. You know, natural diversity is one thing, you know, but this is ridiculous. Really? And then and on top of it, they remove Bond's, habit of flirting with other women, which, I mean, kind of is normal depending on how you look at it, you know, but still, it's like they made it sound like Bond is a sexist or something. They made it sound like he's a friggin' predator or womanizer, sexist, whatever, or misogynist, whatever you want to call it. They made him out to be something that he was not. And he was not. They made him out to be something he was not. Or his original character to be some. They made his original character out to be something he was not. You know, and it's ridiculous. Like, really? Why are you gonna modernize a character that wasn't even problematic in the first place? All he did at the most was flirt with women and probably make some dirty jokes. That's the most I think he's done. But like, really? He's not sexist. He's not a misogynist. He's not any of those things. He's just a man of taste.
Out of gaming even harder. 007 First Light is just proving it. Because this game is woke, okay? Every second...
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. There's no debate. This game is absolutely woke.
Person you encounter in this game is literally a black female for some reason. You get bossed and called stupid.
And it's not like the black dude dies first here. You just encounter a black woman. Well, or whatever. Indian, whatever. First, in the game first. Like, for what reason?
By them. It's a joke. You get bossed and called stupid by them.
Excuse me? Oh. Right, because I don't see them improvising out in the field. Bond is a lot smarter than them, mind you, because he's the one doing the improvising, the one in doing combat. You know, the one who has a very, very wonderful taste in vehicles and specifically weapons. Really, I don't see any of those women with the Walther PPK. I don't see them beating up the bad guys. Like how? What? Yeah, see, they ruining shit with this whatever with this feminism. Really, really. I thought y'all wanted equality. What happened to just wanting to be recognized as equals? Wanting to be treated fairly. You know, I mean, now we got a woman in a video game trying to tell a special agent that he's stupid. One that knows how to take down bad guys even bigger than him, and also knows how to use a Walther PPK effectively, and also has a car that can shoot, that has guns attached to it. And also it also can drive really good, at least when he wants to. He's a guy who improvises, okay? Kind of like John Wick. He's basically the PG-13 version of John Wick. I don't understand what about him makes him so stupid. Sure, Bond may make mistakes sometimes or get himself, well, at least trapped or get himself captured, but that I'm pretty sure that's usually part of the plan. And if it's not, it's because of bad luck. Or maybe God just was like toying with him, or just God was just trolling him. Seriously. Bond is stupid? Yeah, no. Anyone calling Bond stupid is stupid. And I think we know most of who is doing that. We're not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. We're not gonna say it. We're not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it, but they know who they are. They know. Like, really? What any one of these women are gonna sit here? What are any of these women gonna do in Bond shoes? I don't see these women with a Walther PPK doing what he. I don't see them doing what he does. And they're calling him stupid? Right. Right. Yeah, we know their type. We know. The big mouth, they're all gun, no trigger. They're all gun, no trigger.
It's a joke. But they're all
What?
bossed and called stupid by them. It's a joke. But
Hold on.
the second person you encounter in this game is literally a black female for some reason. You get bossed and called stupid by them. It's a joke. But they're all side character and ignorable enough, and the game is decent enough on its own for people to play it. And this is how we get shit games. Okay?
Yeah.
They're not trying to push it down your throat like previously. Now,
but they're just trying to. They're really trying to get you used to it, so that way when a game like it comes up, when they do the same thing, then you don't fight against it, or you're not against it. You're basically like, whatever, same thing, same shit, different day. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Nope. I'm not getting used to this shit. Nope. Nah, I'm fighting against this shit, because this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Now they're being a lot more discreet about it. Now they're all kind of approaching the Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yep. They're basically trying to show you that, hey, this is optional. You don't have to do it. Well, I get that it's optional, but still, I would appreciate it if I didn't see it. That's like saying that shooting a gun is optional, or no, that's like saying that what analogy can I make here? What analogy can I make here? That's like saying that a picture of Jeffrey. That's like saying that I don't even know what example to make here. I don't even know what analogy to make, because I'm just so done with this. Like before, I'm just so done with this. Seriously, like, I mean, come on, man. That's like buying a PC on Amazon, uh, you know, and being asked if you want insurance for it. I get it. It's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just trying to make some sort of analogy here. You know, look, I know it's optional, but I would appreciate if you stop asking me that every time I buy some sort of product from on Amazon. Like, really? We've been through this. If I need insurance, I'll I'll add it to my purchase. I don't need you to keep asking me if I want, a warranty or insure. I don't need you to keep asking me if I want a warranty, every time I go to purchase something or something that has some piece of technology. I don't need you to keep doing that. It gets annoying after a while. I'm trying to, it's like going into a store. I'm trying to get in, get out. I'm not trying to be harassed by someone who wants to sell me something I'm not interested in.
Way of pushing narratives, but they're incorporating it faster and it's visible, but it's not always in your face. So
Yeah. Even if it's not directly in our face, it's still quite annoying because we know why they're doing it. They know why they're doing it, and they're hoping to God that we just look at it and be like, well, it's optional, but it's still annoying, but we can deal with this. No, no. I thought it was very clear that we don't want this shit at all. You know, look, I don't mind, characters being different races and backgrounds and stuff, but this is like, whether or not this stuff is being forced, in a sense, it kind of is because it may be optional, but that can always change at any given point. They can always just say, we're going to force this into the game anyway, so we're going to shove this all the way down your throat until it comes out the other end, and you'll be happy. No, 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 we won't. No, no, this is how games die. This is how games fail. I mean, this game already failed, but hey, it can fail even harder than that. No, it's optional, but I don't remember specifically asking for the option. I didn't tick the box that says, "Are you sure? Or do you want this?" No, I didn't tick that box. You just threw it in there, whether it was optional or not, in the hopes that I wouldn't notice it. Well, I noticed it, and there's a problem because I didn't ask for it. Seriously, man. It's stupid.
so a lot of people are currently giving it a pass,
Yeah, of
even
course they are. Yeah. This is exactly why we have gun control. Because people give things a pass. You know, you don't ignore something until it becomes unbearable. You nip it in the bud before it has the opportunity to become unbearable. The same thing with these woke games. With wokeism in video games. You don't just sit there and ignore it until it becomes a blatant problem. No, you nip it in the bud, and you nip it in the bud and oppose this stuff before it really starts getting bad.
no, this game is ridiculously woke.
Mm-hmm.
There is no question. It's
Yeah.
just the line in the sand drawn here is not the extreme one that we're used to. This
Yeah.
is not Mixtape. This is not Dragon Age Veilguard. But it is woke, and the game definitely suffers for it. A lot of this.
Like, look, I'm not gonna lie. There are some woke games that I will play, as long as they're not extreme. But like, I don't like it when people try to act like when people try to downplay this stuff. It's like, no, this is bad. No, it may not be like all the way in your face now, but just imagine what's gonna happen down the line. All it takes is an update for them to shove it directly into your face. And God help the DLCs. Any DLC expansions to the story. Mm-mm.
Story elements, a lot of the dialogues, they suffer because. And people
Mm-hmm.
are currently kind of overlooking it a lot. Judging from my last video, I would like to say that roughly like 1/3 of the people playing this, who typically would be against wokeness, seem to be more or less fine with this, which is a problem. Again,
It is absolutely, because if we just start giving this game a pass, it's gonna get worse because they're gonna think that we're okay with this, and they're gonna start doing even more and more. they're gonna start pushing it even more and more and more until we're back to square one.
This is 100% without question, Vogue. But it's done in such a way that it's not exactly in your face. Heel versus Babyface actually playing the game, saying it's rough. We have even fucking Endymion. Endymion, great guy, friend of the channel, very...
So far from what I played at Double 7 First Light, I would say the beginning is rough. It takes a little long with this training missions, getting you to know Bond's little group of other agent friends, but once you reach the hotel mission, the one you've seen in trailers where you're given the free reign to walk around, explore, do the Hitman-esque gameplay, the game gets good finally. I'm currently in the mission set in Africa. It's very intricate. It's like a hub of interactive things you can do. You need $100,000 to get into this auction. And the way you get that money is up to you. Ooh, that sounds interesting. There's tons of different ways. Fight clubs, stealing crypto what? Wallets, winning at the shooting range, breaking into a painting cell. It's all up to you. Whoa! That doesn't sound like Bond, or maybe I've been putting too much past OG Bond. Because Bond does do some crazy things sometimes. So what I'll say so far is the beginning is rough, now it's good. In my opinion, it feels like the game would be better if it started with like one training mission, then directly went into the hotel mission and skipped the nonsense. But it is what it is, I'll keep going. But I'm liking how intricate the gameplay design is. Bond is so far is fine too. He's not emasculated or anything. He's definitely the strong male hero he's supposed to be, so far anyway. I mean, to be honest, there are some things missing that the developers thought would be a good idea to remove because I guess in their eyes, a man being flirtatious or a male secret agent being flirtatious with women, you know, not sexually harassing women, not being a misogynist or a sexist, just straight up being flirtatious with women, and of course stopping when he goes too far or he's told to, you know, or when, well, or, you get the point, they changed something that didn't need to be changed and tried to make it out of some sort of good change. It's not. I'm sorry. I just, I don't know. That's unacceptable to me. Even if Bond doesn't feel quite different from the OG, there were some changes to him that should not have been made for the sake of modernization.
Very smart, blah, 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 blah. And even he says that the game is not exactly atrocious. It's pretty decent. And again, I said that previously. From the gameplay, even if the stealth is like fucking baby's first stealth game, Lamau, it's pretty decent. The shooting seems decent. The melee, even though it's definitely not for me, I'm not an Arkham series fan. But there's a lot of people who that is exactly what they want, and that's fine, that's understandable, that's good. The game seems okay enough to play. Everyone's kind of saying that, because that watching it, seeing it, it does seem to be the right thing, honestly. And, by the way, dude, we talked about this, a Blue Thunder guy.
Oh, no.
When it came to Mixtape. And you got also people like this
after hold on a second.
Shilling.
Yeah, of course, because Blue Thunder always pulls this goddamn crap. Why else wouldn't he do it? He's a friggin' shill to the core, dude. This is the exact kind of folks you have to deal with in Train Sim Classic whenever you bring up DT whenever you criticize digital train model and friggin' higher simulations. Especially in Dovetail doesn't test games. Seriously, man. I always gotta deal with these goddamn shills. They have to ruin everything. After beating 007 First Light, I can confidently say that this game is a near masterpiece. Oh, can you? Yeah, I'll bet you can because you're a friggin' shill. You'll say anything's a masterpiece. Bonus points if it's a leftist game. A leftist produced game. It's actually shocking how IOI went from Hitman to making this. Visuals, gameplay, especially combat, immersion, it's all next level stuff. But what impressed me the most is the pacing. It manages to immediately grab you from the opening mission. It does not let go for the entire campaign. Yeah, I'll bet it does. Yeah, okay, buddy. There is no downtime. 1 minute you're in a cutscene at MI6 headquarters and then immediately cuts to the next mission and you're in a car chase. Characters are voice acted wonderfully, especially Theresa. If you know, you know. The villains are awesome. Bond might be my favorite Bond in the entire IP, and the story itself is full of twists. It's a guarantee nominee for Game of the Year, and I hope you all enjoy it. Yeah, Game of the Year. Yeah, okay.
This game. They bought a lot of shills, by the way. And
Yep,
this is
pretty
one of the
much.
guys.
They
I'm
always buy
pretty
the
sure,
shills.
by the way, this is bought at this point, because this is we talked about this guy when it came to Mixtape. He is a massive fake channel. It seems like, because look at this. He has 100 and
How many videos does this guy have? Oh.
seems like, because look at this.
Okay.
He has 160k subs. He has 7 videos, and most of them don't break 50k. There's only this one that's
Wow.
seemingly locked out. Yeah. He has a bunch of shorts that are not, by the way, also doing good. Maybe when he's doing some kind of Lego Batman nonsense. But still. Okay? And this is the guy who got given Mixtape, and now he's still...
Oh, yep, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that.
he's telling everyone that 007, that's not the best thing ever.
No, it's not, bro. No, it's not. You shill. No, don't listen to Blue Thunder. He's a friggin' shill. You never listen to shills because they'll tell you anything. They will say anything to be on the good side of developers and the like.
He's one of those access people. He got the early access. And I mean, this is what effectively the game is. Again, there is no denying that it's woke. And this is a problem because a lot of people are seemingly okay enough to accept this level of woke, okay? That's it. And yes, there are
It's gonna come back to bite him in the ass. I know that.
some parts, like for example this, which is kind of nice, even though they're not. I don't think there's a single white woman in this game, but whatever. And it's gonna go up. I wonder how far it's gonna go up. Oh, look at that! It's a new high. There we go. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it's gonna obviously break a new one, but even if it gets 100k. Even if it gets 100k concurrent players, and we can estimate that the sales numbers are probably going to be close to 1 million because no one's fucking hype buying this shit.
Yeah,
Currently,
no.
people are afraid, to say the least, and waiting for reviews and whatnot. But, you know, even if this gets 100k, and again, how much does this cost? Let me actually check real quick. Let me just go on Steam. $70? Are you fucking kidding?
Yep, that's how much it costs.
Wow.
Especially on console.
Wow, the fact that it actually has this many concurrent players and it's $70 is kind of fucking insane. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't seem to be doing too good.
But yeah, again, even if it sells 1 million copies, which it theoretically could, by the way, by the end of the week. I do think it is possible. It's likely, in fact, I would say. It's more likely than not. 1 million copies, 70 buckaroonie price tag, minus 30% off of Steam. That's $49. Let's round.
It definitely does not sound worth the $70. No. I think at most it's worth around $50. In my opinion, but nowhere near 70.
Let's round it up for 50. Yeah, that's 50 million. 50 million is a lot of money, but again, there is no world where this shit is not in the average of 250 to 350 million to make. There's no world. All of the cameos alone, all of the cars, even all of the cars that you see in this game require licensing. And and by the way, the
Absolutely, yeah.
007 is an IP. James Bond is an IP that you need to rent to actually be able to do anything with it.
Yep, you can't actually buy it. You can only rent it. You can only rent a goddamn license. Thanks to Denuvo being added at the last minute. Yep.
So, there is no world where this shit breaks even.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
No.
Anyway,
Absolutely
thanks
not.
for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.
Yep. You too, man. Shout out to my boy Quasar77. Subscribe, like his videos, subscribe to his channel, comment. You know the vibes. Yeah, Helen Keller could have seen this one coming. See, they say IO Interactive is a developer, but in the opening credits it says Amazon. Oh, Amazon, MGM Studios, and IO Interactive. The story and characters reek of Amazon's dirty, grubby, intensive little fingers. They plan on pulling a Rings of Power on James Bond. This is a brilliant move of deception to push a bunch of YouTubers into your game. You get them talking about how wonderful it is, and they sell it for you. Give the devil his due, yeah. Done sold they souls, man. It ain't worth it, cause that debt you gonna have to pay it back. Nope. See, with God, you don't have to worry about that. Of course, you gotta work for stuff, and he gives you stuff as long as you don't take advantage. But with his rival, with his enemy, oh nah, you giving something back. He ain't leaving with nothing. He gonna leave with something. The game's already out, and I haven't heard a single thing about the Bond girl in this game, or if there even is one, tells me, oh yeah, I agree. James Bond representing modern British government values was a remarkably stupid idea. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I don't think the British government were good to begin with, but they were at least tolerable. If I'm assuming. I mean, because every government is not good. Governments are not on your side. No matter how many times a politician tells you they're going to support you or do this or that, they don't care about you. If this game is not Leisure Suit Larry with the gun, it's not worth playing. I agree. His name is Shill Up. After seeing on how on rails the game is, I'll just watch someone play it on YouTube for the story. Yeah, it's best to. The exact figure is currently unknown, but IOI Interactive CEO Hakan Abrak says that it's IOI's most expensive project so far. Have fun making that money back. And says the game's development cost exceeds $100 million US dollars. Yeah, have fun making that money back. With some estimates and industry reports suggesting the total could be upwards of $200 million when accounting for long-term support. Yeah, have fun making all of that money back. Have fun. Have friggin' fun. Have friggin' fun. Because I do not think they're going to make that kind of money back. I see quite a few streamers getting sponsored to play the game. Oh, trust me, there's a lot. There's a lot. I still remember when Everything or Nothing had 3 hot Bond girls. The evil blonde blondie working for the Green Goblin. What? What? I'm sorry, you skipped a few chapters. What? Okay. The Latina we met halfway through the game, and that singer lady who actually sings the main theme song for the game. I remember having a gaming magazine with a huge poster of all 3. So if you can't goon to this game, it's bad now. No, you imbecile. No, you imbecile. It's the fact that there's. People just they love being stupid, don't they? No, it's not the fact. That's not what it is. It's the fact that they're doing this intentionally just to make us adhere to their friggin' agenda. I mean, there's nothing wrong with gooning to a hot woman in a video game or movie, whatever. I mean, I don't masturbate. I'm sorry to share this information with you because I know this is way too much, more than you should know, but I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't do that. I rarely have wet dreams, so you know I'm not hearing that. You know, I rarely do. And most of the time, I'm having dreams, or rather, I guess you could call them night terrors, that usually don't bother me too tough, where I'm too busy in a nightmare fueled world, either being a badass guy, you know, taking down the monsters or whatever, or probably running away because I know god darn well I ain't surviving. uh especially with those dreams where you can't even run that fast. Like, you can't run how fast you can actually run in real life. You run so slowly, and whatever's chasing you catches up to you. I hate those kinds of dreams. Cause, like, bro, why can't I run so fast, but whatever's chasing me can run that fast? Or can run faster than me? That makes no god darn sense. But yeah, you know, I don't really do that. You know, it's just not my thing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound or be self righteous here, but it's just not my thing. It's not my cup of tea. You know, so hey, it is what it is, man. It's not the fact that you can't goon to the game. It's the fact that, you know, we're not seeing. You know, the fact that the woman just either that some, not all the women look pleasant or pleasant to look at. It's more than just the woman, you know, kelp for brains. You know, I hate when people try to straw man or pick when people just pull up a straw man like that. You know, I mean, what's so bad about gooning? What's so bad about gooning to a video game character? I guess if you do it more than you should, maybe that's a problem. But, like, you know what? I'm not even going to get into that. But, like, because, you know, that's not a rabbit hole I'm jumping down. I'm sorry. I ain't getting stuck in that rabbit hole. So, you know, I'm not going in there anyway. I'm not going in that rabbit hole. Not diving down there. But, you know, that was the video. You know, it's crazy that we can't have good games like we used to. You know, because there's always, the developers are, these woke developers and publishers are always up to something. You know, and the fact that people think that this is a passable game because it contains minimum DEI. Look, I have games that have the absolute minimum of modern standards, okay? But I'm not going to sit there and just glaze them and say, "Oh, it's not that bad," because I'd be lying to myself. You know, maybe it's not extremely bad, but it is kind of bothersome, because if they can push it a little bit like that, they'll do it even more. You know, it's like a car. It's like a used car salesman trying to continuously push a car on you that you do not want from him. You know, no. What makes you think? What I just told you about a million goddamn times. I don't want it. What makes you think I still want it? Or what makes you think I'm gonna change my mind? You know. But hey, that was the video. Kobe Lawson out, folks.